inspired, excited, and concerned all at the same time. Mixed emotions of how the communities continue to state they want to step up. But I believe the lack of coordination by DSNY and not having real communication on the ground with these community groups is really having us lose our best asset, the people. And if we would really stop existing in silos and coordinate with the people on the ground during these difficult times, even with budget cuts, we can do a better job of keeping our city clean. Quality of life, cleanliness, particularly during the pandemic era now, means so much. And so my office has been organizing other corridor cleanups throughout our borough. We're doing it in Bay Ridge with the state senator Andrew Bernardus and the councilman Justin Brennan. And so we want to make sure that people know anyone who has a corridor that they want to be a part in doing a cleanup, they can reach out to us at askeric@brooklyn.nyc.gov. Ask Eric at brooklyndot.gov, and we will coordinate to assist them in it. Community engagement, as I stated, means a lot. We're moving from woe is me to why not me. There's a real can-do-it spirit that has come out of the pandemic, where block by block, neighbors by neighbors, people are coming together to provide these real services. And one of the most important services that's being provided is a cleanup. These coordinations that are taking place on the ground level, community boards, civic groups, block associations, everyday residents, is really empowering to see happen every day. Quality of life takes three important entities: government, civic groups and businesses, and everyday residents. Our residents are doing their part. It's time that we're asking our business groups and government now to kick in gear and do their part. We know about the cuts to Department of Sanitation of over $100 million during this budget cycle, but if we are honest, prior to the cuts, we were not managing our assets correctly. And so we can't merely point to the pandemic or cuts and state that this is the reason our city is getting dirtier and dirtier. We were walking through corridors, lack of coordination, lack of 311 system response. We were having this problem long before coronavirus. This is not about COVID. This is about the fact that we have not doing a good job with the assets that we have. And so we know about the reduction in sanitation spending led to a dramatic reduce in the amount of pickups. We went from 736 to 272. That's a horrendous drop in numbers of trucks being deployed for litter collection. It has a major impact on the quality of life, everything from street sweeping. As you look at some of the refuge in our tree pits or on the streets, it's just a sign of erosion in our city that we don't want to continue to see. The complaints about dirty sidewalks on 311 and telephone hotline hit an all-time high of 2,922 in July and August, up 14% from the same period a year ago. Missed trash collection complaints are also surging. Yet we have heard an increase in reports of dirtier streets and sidewalk. That the recent release Mayor Management Report indicates that the streets are cleaner. So we have the Mayor's Management Report saying one thing, but the people on the street are saying something different. There is a real disconnect in how we are responding to these issues of unclean streets. And we believe that because the manner in which we are reporting and responding to complaints of dirtier streets is an antiquated model. We can't continue to use an 8-track method in an iPhone age of how do we respond to 311 complaints. We have to modernize our system. We have to become better. And I can't say this enough, we must move to a real-time system why we continue to move to this antiquated method. We are seeing what we want to see in government and not what the people are seeing on the streets. And that's a qualitative difference, and that's why we're seeing a real impact on the lack of quality. The Napoli report, the state controller clearly pointed out that much of what we're using dates back to 1973. I don't know if the DSNY got the memo, but 1973 was almost 50 years ago. We need to move to a better way of carrying out. How do we ensure that we are identifying the trash issues, responding immediately, giving communities a simple items as a shovel, a broom, the ability to use their power and leverage their power. Kofi said something to me that was really amazing, how young people were riding their bikes to pick up trash and refuse and putting it into bins that were later being used. That's a powerful way of leveraging our resources and our dollars to get our young people involved. If you're a young person picking up trash, you're not going to be a young person that drops trash in the street. That is how you change habits. You don't change habits by being punitive. You change habits by having our young people also participate in the response. So we are really calling on the city to play a more vital role. And we take the governor up on his offer to have the National Guard play a role. They don't need to wear their fatigues. They don't need to look like they're doing army work. But we need to leverage every asset that we have to see ourselves through the cuts that we are experiencing, and it should be done in a real way. Additionally, we need to reform how DSNY works and connect residents to existing resources so they can be further empowered to participate in supporting their communities. We can do this by 5 points that we are pointing out. 1, modernize DSNY's cleanliness assessment and integrate 311 complaints and violations and summons data. Letting New Yorkers 311 trash complaints just fester somewhere in the pile of bureaucracy is the wrong thing to do. We need to respond to those 311 complaints in real time. DSNY should release its data so New Yorkers can see gaps between services and the needs that we are seeing on the ground. Second, overall cross-agency coordination. It is unbelievable how we continue to operate in silos. We need cross-agency coordinations so that we can stop pointing the finger and lifting our finger to deal with the crisis that we are dealing with. And that is something that we're calling for. 3, expand the participation in DEP's adopted catch basin program. This is a pilot program. We started in Canarsie and Prospect Park and other areas. Many of the basins get filled with litter. It causes the backup of water. It causes flooding. By allowing the community to adopt the basins, it gives them an opportunity to clean the basins. As we see, or even on this block, we see litter in many of the locations. We need to expand this program to be citywide. It is so important to do so. And number 4, recruitment of public-private partnership to invest in better quantity and quality of local sanitation. Let's give our local stores trash bags so they can go and remove the refuse when it fills up on a particular corner or in front of their store. We've noticed that as we were coming over here, the Broadway corridor, we saw a large number of overfilled trash spaces. And trash bins, if you allow the local stores to have those bags and partner with them, they can, when they get filled, they can remove those trash bins and put the refuge inside the bag. So it's almost an adopted trash bin program, and it's allowing us to partner with our community and our civic leaders in the process. So this is an important time. We know there are cuts. We know we're going to go through a difficult time. We know that we're going to have to do more with less. The best way to do that is to manage our assets, have an equitable distribution of resources in real time. We can't continue to have the antiquated models that we have witnessed in the area of trash collection and trash pickup and identifying those terrible areas. And so I really want to thank all the community organizations that we acknowledge for coming together